All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Maybe get a little bit of vlog footage of you guys getting all excited. Welcome to our panel, guys. That was fucking fantastic. It sounded like there was 1,000 of you in here.
Keep it up, guys.
Okay, so this is the third panel now that Alli and I have done together in the last month.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome. The first time I toured America and went through and did all these panels, I was just like a guest, or I mean literally just visiting and paying for my ticket and going in. And this time around, I got to be a guest at all of them and have a panel at all of them and bring my friend along. And it's badass. And you're a guest at this convention as well.
Yeah, this convention is insane, by the way. This convention has more retro games than the entirety of Australia. It's ridiculous.
Literally, the first time I came to this convention, I was just blown away by it. So to come back here and be a guest is awesome. And thank all of you for coming to this panel. So all of our panels are kind of a little bit just, wung? Is that a word? Winged? Winged. I think winged is the way you say it, not wung.
I guess so,
Yeah. A little bit winged. I have some dot points, we'll talk about some things, but if at any point you guys have a question you want to ask us, feel free to go ahead and do that. I'll introduce us to begin with.
It can be literally anything.
Literally anything.
Yeah.
If you guys follow our shows or you've been following my adventures and you know that I've been hanging out with Jay and Billy and you want to ask how they smell or what, I don't know, Metal Jesus is like in bed. I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know where you're going with that either.
I have slept in the same room as him. Then
Is he really metal?
He is, yes. Apart from all the Duran he plays, it's pretty much only metal music. Yeah, it's always metal or Duran. There's road trips with him are fun. So I'll introduce who we are. Obviously, I am, or not obviously, if you don't know who I am Wood from the channel Beat 'em Ups. I started my channel in Australia. I kind of had a show like The Game Chasers, and if you haven't seen that, it's like American Pickers, but with video games. And that sort of brought me to the States, and now I'm kind of living in between the States and Canada, and hoping to move to the States. We'll see how that goes. Tiffany, who's been on my channel a whole bunch. You want to introduce, what kind of games do you like to play, Tiffany?
Ones with animals in them.
We literally have spent pretty much all day trying to find the pets games she doesn't have, which is kind of adorable. And lately you've been playing Mario 64. You've been getting into that, so trying to get her into more mainstream video games and away from the pets games. But
my name is Alli Flanagan. I've also got a YouTube channel. I basically do a lot of reviews with, well actually no, not a lot of reviews. Reviews with really bad dad jokes in them. So that's basically my thing. Yeah, it's lame humor. It works.
They're actually really well done and super overproduced. It takes her about 3 years to make one video.
It's true. It is seriously true.
She does all the sprites and stuff. Have you ever seen her videos? Has anyone actually seen one of Alli's videos before? So every time you see a video game clip or a sprite animation, there's a good chance that isn't a screen cap. It's actually her editing the sprites and making them do what she wants them to do and putting Easter eggs in the background. And if you actually watch the same video about 3 times, you will see stuff that you haven't seen before.
It is painful to see the amount of time I spend on those things because the majority of people don't actually realize that I animate stuff in them. It's it takes me literally a day to animate a 10-second piece of footage and no one knows it's there.
It's stuff you'll be watching the gameplay and there'll be birds in the background and one of them will just start choking and die and fall down. And if you're not paying attention, you just completely miss it, but it's pretty funny. And my friend Super Derek.
I'm Super Derek. I review RPGs on YouTube. Wood's a good friend of mine. Some of you may be wondering why I'm on a panel about game collecting in Australia. Fair question.
We actually, last minute addition, threw these two on the panel, and Amy, your wife, can you be quiet? Wow, what is happening right now? Amy wrote you a little sign, which is kind of adorable. But you're the first guy I ever collabed with on YouTube, ever. And speaking of Down Under, it was a weird game quest where half of it was in Australia and half of it was in America. And I made your wife Amy look like a total bitch in the video. She said she's the nicest lady, honestly the nicest woman I know, and she was saying the nicest things on green screen, but I cut them at just the point where it's it was something along the lines of, he's probably going to edit this to make it sound like I don't love video games, but I love video games, but I literally just said, I don't love video games. I just made everything seem like she was complaining the whole time and buying hats. But it was a fun video. If you haven't seen that, that's old school. That's one of the... It was actually the best thing I edited back then. We did that whole GTA transition thing.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a badass. Anyway, any questions so far? Yes, you sir.
Who would win? 5-headed Alpha Omega Sin or Mecha 8-bit Eric?
5-headed Alpha Omega Sin?
Why does he have 5 heads?
Why wouldn't he?
Well, Eric wrestles. He's a legit wrestler. But in saying that, I've seen Grimsy kick his ass in like 3 seconds, so probably Alpha.
Alpha is pretty badass as well. And
I mean,
if it's Alpha with 5 heads,
if he has 5 heads,
five
that
rounds.
dude's like knee high. He'll be like biting your kneecaps with like 5 different heads and shit. Probably Alpha would win. So what kind of stuff do we like collecting, I guess?
I collect a lot of Sega Master System stuff if I can, just because that's the system that I grew up with. And people are going to pull me up on this. I said Sega.
So was that Sega?
Sega, yes.
Fucking Australians.
Sega is how Australians say Sega or Sega. And we have been pulled up on that so many times in this trip. Just people go, did you just say Sega?
I feel kind of bad for you because I'm like everyone's like left me alone at this point, but you're like new. And like we sat down for lunch today with Derek and Amy and a bunch of other people, and literally within 3 seconds of you sitting down, I could hear the conversation you were having, and you were going no, and they were like no, and you're like no. What does no mean? It's.
There have been so many times when I've been here when people just literally cannot understand what I'm saying because of my accent. It will be a proper word, they just won't understand how I'm saying it.
Like just before, when I went and got Starbucks, and I said my name was Wood, and he was like, it's what? And I said, Wood. And he's like, how do you spell that? And I said, W-O-O-D. Wood. W-O-E-D. He wrote Wood.
That's a word.
I mean, I can kind of see if I'm like, Wood, like my weird Australian accent, like, but like, in Starbucks. What do you like to collect, Derek?
I collect RPGs, almost exclusively, and a little bit of stuff from my childhood. But,
And you collect a lot of stuff from Japan, too.
oh yeah, imports. Got a pretty good Famicom, Super Famicom collection going on now. And, but mostly just JRPGs, action RPGs, anything like that.
And we can lead into that later with the whole like collecting different countries thing too.
Yeah.
I mean, I got Japanese in here along with like Canada and Australia. And Tiffany, what do you like to collect for in your collection of video games?
Nintendo DS, because that's the only one I have.
And a lot of stuffed animals.
A lot of stuffed animals, if that counts as a collection.
Kinda, you have more stuffed animals than I have video games, so probably. Okay, so some of the biggest differences between collecting in Australia and Canada and Japan and all of that. So the biggest difference, obviously, when it comes to Australia is price.
Oh god, the prices are terrible.
Which is why we buy so much stuff when we come here.
I had to buy a second suitcase since I've been here just to fit all the stuff that I bought. It's crazy how much cheaper it is here than Australia.
You're up to 3 suitcases now.
Yeah,
I'm
3
up to
total.
2. So when you see the 2 of us in the airports, we're like 2 fucks with like 17 suitcases trying to like balance them and shit on our heads.
Who's that?
Bit late there, buddy.
I've been here the whole time.
What were you doing? Okay. Well, Gilly the Kid, everyone! Woo! I collabed with you a long time ago too.
Oh, yeah.
You were one of the original collabs. We reviewed like Dracula X together.
Yeah, no, I reviewed Dracula.
Yeah,
X.
I've
You
never
didn't.
played it.
You played, what was it? Which one was it?
I played
Genesis
Bloodlines.
one.
Bloodlines, yeah.
Bloodlines, didn't have the game.
No, I didn't have the game. I think most of the clips of that was me like pretending to play a Super Nintendo controller just so we could splice something together. So what do you collect for, Gilly?
Everything mostly.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of stop after the disc stuff starts happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I still get some stuff, but I'm more like cartridge based.
If you haven't seen Gilly's channel, imagine like, I have to compare him as like an emo Jontron.
Hey you.
His videos are actually really stupidly good quality, but it's that kind of like Jontron humor. Honestly, I kind of prefer your humor, but don't tell Jontron.
Who's Jontron?
I don't know. Remember Blondtron? So who knows Jordan from like Game Chasers, that like little short guy, the short toe guy that hangs out with them all the time? If you remember the episode where their car got broken into, he was the guy that lost like everything, like his laptop, his cameras, his like passport and everything. He came to I think like Magfest with blonde hair, and he looked like a blonde
It wasn't
Jontron.
even blonde hair, it was blonde like tips.
So it was frosted tips, so we started calling him Blondtron for about a year, and he hated it. Actually, I don't know why that reminds me as well, but we were, Jordan's the funniest guy I know. We were about to go swimming at Billy's house with like Alpha and Jay and all that. And Billy and Alpha was like, oh, I really want to go swimming. And then Jay was like, Alpha, make us swim.
Oh my god.
I don't know why that was the funniest thing to me. Where was I before well, you interrupted my flow.
Well, I'm sorry.
What were you doing?
I'm not sorry.
You just forget, didn't you?
I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so what was I talking about?
Collecting in Australia.
Yeah, oh, right, okay.
Whew, wow, I have so many stories.
So here's some price differences. Right, so Mega Man X here for SNES is what, like a $35 game, you'd say? I think it's like 170, 180 now in
just for the
Australia.
cartridge in Australia is about 170, 180 bucks. If you want it complete in box, you're probably looking upwards of 400 bucks at this point.
And that's the cheapest Mega Man X game on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, if you want to get X2 or X3, the cartridge alone sells for about 600 bucks upwards.
We only had 300 NES games released in Australia as opposed to like 800 that you had here. So the prices in general are like jacked up like crazy. But just because there wasn't much, the demand is higher and everything gets jacked up even more. Like any of the Mario games for NES, that's going to be over 50 for any of them, which is insane.
One of the worst things that I found when I've been like sort of looking around for retro games, a pawn store had a boxed Columns game, which here sells for about $1. They were asking 60 bucks for it. Yeah.
I gotta stop saying porn store because people always think that I'm like in like a XXX store or something, and I'm like looking like, oh, just a dildo and this. Oh, NES games, okay.
That's Columns on
Porn shop.
You would be able to move you to the United States with the money you'd save from not buying games in Australia.
That's true. What are the differences? I think it's funny how we've spent the last month traveling and you're going through all the same things that I went through when I first moved here. Like, you were just so astounded. We went into like a kind of a rough neighborhood in New York and we got White Castle and there was like this bulletproof glass thing that like came down and then like...
What borough were you in?
When we ordered, like the glass had to like come up and shit so you could like take your order and Ali's just sat there like, where the fuck are we right now?
The Bronx?
We went to the Bronx.
Why?
To go to the zoo.
Wood got scared
The Bronx is a zoo.
I wasn't scared. I was
just walking down the street going, man, we're fine, and Wood's going, nah, man.
Well, to be fair, I was
looking at us weird.
I was walking down the street in a turtleneck sweater with my hair straightened, and there may have been people laughing at me a little bit. It happened, okay? And then we went like 500 miles the wrong way.
There were signs pointing us at the Bronx in the wrong direction.
We're dumb Australians. We get lost all the time. The New York train station is scary too. Who's caught a New York train before? Dude, we're in this one train and this guy gets in and he's like, you guys ready to rock? And I was like, what? And he puts down this boombox and starts playing Evanescence, so I'm like, well, he's not ready to rock, but okay. And he starts doing like flips and shit on the bars. He's like doing like backflips and he's like crawling along and he does like a stripper slide down. And then he asked me for money and I was like, no, I didn't ask for any of that.
I stopped like halfway and tried to fist bump with him. It's like, I'm not fist bumping you.
I didn't want to fist bump him.
You did it anyway, man.
I did. It was kind of scary. You shut him down completely.
I did. I was like, no.
It's funny to hear this from the outside because that's where I live.
Yeah, that is.
Somebody like, it was so weird. I'm like, I see that every day.
I don't know how.
Gilly's the guy dancing, though.
I am.
Gilly's the guy that gets on the train. You guys ready to rock?
I gotta make a living somehow. YouTube's not paying the bills.
YouTube pennies. Anyone got any more questions right now about collecting in Australia or anything?
So I don't know anything about like the technical aspect of Australian consoles. Is there any different like?
Yeah, actually, the NES is like 50 hertz in Australia, and it's 60 in.
Yeah, it's the same with the Master System Mega Drive. They're all 50 hertz in Australia.
But
it has a really weird side effect where the audio actually runs a lot slower.
The games run slower as well.
Yeah.
The games runs like I don't know how much percent.
The songs sound different. They sound so much slower. It's like
it's at least like 10 or 15% slower.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
I just don't even know this. So it drops the speed, right?
Yeah.
Because of that, does it also drop the key of the song?
It doesn't drop the key of the song.
It's just slower.
Yeah, it just slows it down.
And it was like I didn't know that until my friend Eric Ladd came to my house. He's like in America, and he started playing games, and he's like, "What is like the Earth's rotation slower here? Why does this like sound so weird?" And it kind of screws me up too because I bought a TurboGrafx 16, which actually won't work. I probably need to get some like weird hookups or something, but it straight won't work on my monitors just because it'll either give me like a black and white input with no noise, or I might be able to get sound, but it's like all purple just because of the 50 and 60 hertz difference. Yeah, it's really annoying. But yeah, having it all slower sucks because it kind of feels like the games are easier because everything's slower. We have more time to react and think about stuff. Like Mega Man is slower.
And Sonic the Hedgehog is slow, which is marketed as being like a fast game, and it's like quarter speed slower than.
He's all like,
Yeah, kind of.
He's
It's
all
like
like,
sort of semi-blast processing.
Sonic's all like, gotta go fast.
It throws me though because like the what's the first stage's name? It's like Green Hill Zone or yeah. The music for that just runs so slow, and I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to play Sonic, and then you hear that, and you go, I'm not ready to play Sonic.
Sega. I still find it really weird that it says Sega at the start of every game, but we just say Sega all the time.
Yeah.
Sega Mega Drive.
It's as weird as like people saying. How do people say Mario wrong? Mario? Who says Mario?
You always say Mario or saying it.
A lot of Canadians.
That's weird. But actually, a lot of the old Nintendo, official Nintendo ads actually said Mario. Play as Mario!
Mario. Super
weird.
Mario.
That was a good question, actually. Do we have any other differences between the regions as far as like running differently? I don't think so. I think we caught up after that.
Yeah, not so much. Like
Yeah.
as soon as it hit like PlayStation, Nintendo 64, I'm pretty sure that was the point where it sort of became exactly the same. Before that, slower.
We didn't get a lot of consoles either. Like, what did we miss
Yeah,
out on? We
we
missed out on
missed out on a lot.
TurboGrafx and Television, ColecoVision.
Yeah, PC Engine.
A lot of
Had
like,
a exclusive
Odyssey.
console too, though, didn't you?
yeah, we had that weird thing that I actually found in that episode with you.
Yeah.
What was that called?
I don't remember.
What was it?
Oh, it was some weird thing. I don't remember.
I know we got a lot of like Famiclone systems because of our like proximity to Asia. Like instead of my cousins having an NES, they had a Good Boy, which is a Famiclone. It ran
What?
like fake NES games.
It
Yeah,
ran
The
A
only
good
thing
boy?
Yeah, it's called a Good Boy.
I'd like to see the ads for that thing.
The previous thing is that like on the top of that console, there wasn't like a name logo or anything. It was just like a kid just doing thumbs up and like smiling at you, and that was it.
They weren't
That's
even
really
like
weird.
that
Yeah.
confident about the name. They were like, it's good.
I have some weird Russian Mega Drive in my house back in Canada right now that I need to review called like the Terminator or something.
Please review that.
I need to review it. If you shake the power brick, it rattles. So I'm kind of scared to like plug it in. And the best part about it is, if you hit the eject button, the cards shoot out. Like they literally shoot out. Like I didn't know at first, and I was like looking at it, like holding it up because it's so flimsy, and it like shot into my neck. I was like, oh! That's why they're called the Terminator, I guess. Assassinating people.
We also missed out on the Sega Nomad, which I hate because I really want to pick one up. Just I would have to import them or pick one up while I'm over here. And I wanted that system for a long time.
It's weird that we say Mega. Sega Mega Drive,
Yeah.
and not Sega Mega Drive.
Yeah, I never realized that before.
Until Jordan
Yeah,
caught you
until
out on a
Jordan
panel.
You guys talk weird.
Speaking of talking weird, Tiffany, you spent some time in Australia, and a lot of time in America, but in Australia, what kind of weird things did you notice about Australians?
Nobody ever wears shoes. Well, like they wear shoes, but like if you're in a grocery store and you'll just like see a guy walking around without shoes on because it's just like casual and everything is casual. People don't feel the need to like put on shirts when they go outside.
I mean, yeah, it's Australia. It's hot. What do you want? Like, I used to work in a warehouse, and there was always like timber on the floor and like nails and shit, and people and their kids are walking through, and their feet are like black at the bottom. And I wear shoes everywhere. That shit kind of messes me up when I see that. And I put some fucking socks on at least. All right, have you noticed that people without shirts on?
Yeah, that happens a lot, and especially the no shoes thing as well. That is very, very
I
common.
never even like thought about that until now. But yeah.
Yeah.
And you always got confused when you walked into a store and people were like, "How you going?"
Like, where you going is the weirdest phrase.
What the fuck does that
How am
mean?
I supposed to answer?
It's just like how you doing, I guess. Like it doesn't sound weird. I got the fucking frustrating conversation with Scott Squatch, if you guys know who that is. Where, like one of the first things I ever said to him when I got in the car, I was like, "This place is heaps different," and he was like, "What?"
I started saying heaps after I hung out with you. I got home, the first time we hung out in Texas, I got home and I started saying heaps. And no one knew what I was talking about.
Well, you were better off for it. It's like I don't know. I didn't know how to explain it. I was like heaps. It's like a measurement of a lot. Like it's just heaps different. It's heaps better. That's actually kind of a South Australian thing too.
That's not even slang. That's it's a heap of something.
We just make up words.
It's not that confusing.
He was confused. Something that Jay gives me and you a lot of shit for is HD instead of HD.
God. Okay, so
You were there for that the first
Yeah,
time.
it's because you say it wrong.
No. Okay, so here's the thing that Jay doesn't understand. And he won't... Jay is stubborn as fuck. So, with the letter H, like what is like the H sound? It's like huh. It's like huh. It's like, or whatever. So when you say H, you're cutting out the in H. And that's what I've never understood. Is
Well,
how...
do you agree with people that say Z? Because that sounds
No, I say
stupid as hell.
Z. I'm not pretentious.
Stupid.
No, I say Z. You say Z.
I sort of switch it up a bit.
Yeah, just keep people guessing.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, sometimes
Do
you're like
you
this.
say ZX Spectrum or you say ZX Spectrum?
I say ZX Spectrum.
Gross.
Yeah. I had to think about that for a sec. Yeah.
Does anyone have any more questions about video games, or should we still keep talking about the difference in fast food and fucking how fat America is? It's fantastic.
Stupid Jay.
Yes, sir.
What's the difference in Australia console-wise?
As far as what do we got? What do you?
The prices.
Oh, okay.
Like right now, currently,
Yeah,
or like
like
throughout,
right
like
now.
right now, everything's about a $50 to $100 more expensive.
Yeah, a little bit more. Like the PlayStation VR, I know, which is an accessory, obviously. In Australia, just the VR unit itself, like not with any of the accessories, is $550. Whereas here it's like 400, I think, is just the retail for that. I didn't realize until someone pulled me up on it, but apparently our Dreamcasts are really expensive too. I think the retail when they first came out in Australia was about $800. Yeah. Yeah.
What about like if you went and got a Master System right now?
Right now, geez, you're probably looking like just for the console without a box, like between 150 $200. Yeah.
How much is the PlayStation TV right now?
PlayStation TV, they were selling
50
for $100 when I last saw them.
We were lucky, actually. We walked into a grocery store in Texas, HEB, and they were doing a clearance of shit, and we both got PlayStation TVs, the bundles, with the 8 gig memory card, with a controller, with the Lego game for like $27
Yeah, it
after
was
discount.
$27.
Yeah, that was badass. It's like a
I
couple
love that.
Australians, we were like, oh, fuck yeah.
Stock up and take some back with you.
Well, we only had 2 left.
Those DualShock controllers back home are like $70 still.
Yeah,
So
that was
it's
a good
awesome
day.
to
I just
pick
wanted the memory card for the Vita so I could actually save some fucking Vita games.
I
Is
love
that
that
kids in the audience?
I love that you're shaking your head.
No.
Like, every time you hear the
No,
prices,
okay,
you're just
good.
like, oh no.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Mikey,
Yeah.
I've heard you swear around your kids. I know I'm safe. Yeah.
So, ever since Pokemon Go came out, the prices of the games have skyrocketed here. How badly have they skyrocketed in Australia?
Alli?
A lot. I work at essentially a Best Buy, but with Hot Topic employees. That's the best way to explain the place I work. Yeah, I know. And
Hot Topic employees.
Yeah, I know.
Continue.
Hot Gold, like, after Pokemon Go came out, like, we had an influx of people coming in to buy 2DSs, 3DSs, just so they could play the Pokemon games. And every second person would come in asking for either Soul Silver or Hot Gold, which online in Australia sells for about $150 now.
Oh, really? I have those. My
I have
collection
those
just got
too.
worth more.
Yeah.
Is that just loose for them?
There is a box. The loose ones are probably still around $100. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris was kind of trying to buy my Pokemon games when I left, like hard. Like every time he came around, he's like, "So, what you doing with those Pokemon games when you leave?" I'm like, "Keeping them." Motherfucker.
Another thing as well about Pokemon Go, I have a Kangaskhan, and everyone I've come across who plays Pokemon Go is like, "Can I see your Kangaskhan?"
So, what have you picked up in? Okay, yep.
Oh, I was just gonna ask you, do you want to see people's like when they have Tauros?
It took me about 2 weeks to find a Tauros. I ended up catching one in Times Square, and
Wow.
like that was a huge novelty.
Times
for
Square
me.
was fun for Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
That was legit. Hey, who likes Olive Garden?
You had fun in Times Square.
No one likes
I like
Olive
that no one
Garden.
likes Olive Garden.
Oh, I just died inside. Holy shit, that's like our favorite place to eat. Fuck. Well, for my birthday, I went to Olive Garden because there's one around Times Square, and we sat there spinning the Pokestop and catching Pokemon the whole time and eating the most fucking delicious food America has to offer. Guys, I don't know.
Breadsticks.
It's the breadsticks and
Those
salad
breadsticks
that
are
gets
great.
me. Because you can really go, and if you go when they're doing like the buy one, I get passionate about Olive Garden. When they do the buy one get one free like entrees, you can do that. Literally eat only the breadsticks and salad, fill yourself up, ask for more breadsticks and salad, and then a bunch of to-go boxes, and you're set for like 3 days. She knows. She's like, fuck yeah, Olive Garden. Love Olive Garden. Fuck Olive Garden.
That meal is like 1,500 calories. That's like all you need to eat in a day in that one meal.
It was actually a lot of calories, yeah.
Yeah.
And can you not fuck Olive Garden when I know that you love Jack in the Box, which is literally the most disgusting fast food place
It's
in
because
all
I
of
never
America.
get to eat it, ever.
The last time you ate it with me, you threw up the next day. Just
I did throw up.
you threw up a ton of Jack in the Box. So delicious much?
I did throw up.
Yeah, you were fucked.
Crazy.
up.
Well, Olive Garden sucks.
Okay, well.
Eat real Italian.
That was a fun night. We actually got to go behind stage at a Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. is like a god to me.
Scott Squatch got us behind stage to a Louis C.K. gig, and we literally sat next to Sarah Silverman
And Whitney Cummings.
and that who's that guy that has a show now called Moron or Maroon or whatever.
I don't know, but I know
Netflix.
that on the tour was Jeff Ross, Whitney Cummings, Sarah Silverman, Louis C.K., Mark Maron, Hannibal Buress.
And we just sat there with them in the seats, and then Louis rocks up, and like we're both
Pacing.
like,
And I was like,
yeah.
can't talk to him.
Anyway, yeah, you weren't allowed to talk. You wanted to shake his hand on the way out, but they were like, if you touch him, we will kill you. You were stood there ready. You were like on the edge of the curtain. If you actually were watching, if you were there, which I'm not going to none of you were. If any of you were there, you saw this like tattooed hand just like sticking out from the curtain, waiting to shake Louis' hand on the way out.
And then Louis like, I gotta avoid that tattooed hand.
People always give me shit for the way I say tattooed.
Tattooed. Because there's a bunch of T's in it. You pronounce none of them.
I say the first one.
Tattooed.
Fuck you.
How do I say tattoo? No, see, I pronounce the T's.
Yeah, see, Ali's
Yeah,
like
but
tattooed.
you're a weird Australian. You say
Tattooed.
things really weird.
I do. People.
Can you guys smell me right now? I smell like eucalyptus, like
like
hardcore.
shit.
Like, what's that, like meth something? I would smell like a
You
bunch
smell
of
like meth. You smell like
No, like that methyl, the good stuff that you. I'm covered in these like strips because my back and shoulder really
Icy
hurts.
hot is what they're
Yeah, I'm
called.
covered in like icy hot things because my back and shoulder.
Yeah, menthol.
Yeah, thank you. Not meth. Jeez. Do I smell like crack right
Smell
now,
like meth.
anyone? Can you smell the hard drugs on me? You're gonna say something before I just went off on a tangent?
I was just about to say, says that when you were arguing
Mhm.
about the merits of
Mhm.
Olive Garden, wood.
There are none.
Thank you.
Says, I was gonna say, says the guy who loves Taco Bell.
Yeah, what is that? You eat Jack in the Box. You eat Taco Bell.
Who likes Taco Bell?
Everybody loves Taco Bell because it costs $2 to get like 12 pounds of food that makes you shit your pants.
Okay, but I have an iron stomach. I don't shit my pants when I eat Taco Bell. What, have you seen me shit my pants after eating Taco Bell?
I haven't seen the experience in the bathroom after you eat Taco Bell.
That's true. No, Taco Bell's delicious.
I'd rather throw up than shit my pants.
The like crunchy gordita thing. Yeah.
Looks like a stop sign.
Yeah.
I like
No,
Maybe
that's
about
like
your
a
gourmet
I don't know
Taco
what
Bell
that's called,
experience.
Crunchy wrap or something. No, we went to Taco Bell in this is about fast food now. We went to Taco Bell in Connecticut and they didn't have Dr. Pepper. So I'm never going back there again. Why not have Dr. Pepper? And by the way, your like smalls are like extra larges everywhere we go.
Because
Yeah.
we're fat.
It's glorious. And
It's
there
like-
are free refills.
Literally everywhere, but the worst is Whataburger. Whataburger has to make their like extra larges out of like.
That's in Texas. That
Theirs
doesn't
are like
count.
out of like plastic though, because if you made like a paper cup that big, it would like fall apart with the weight of the beverage that you put in there. And Jay gets that and refills it 3 times while he's eating, and then once on the way out. It's fucking Texas, man. I love Texas.
I know we had like a question or two. Yeah. Yeah,
I
man.
have 2 questions for Super Derek. One is, you said you like import. Do you plan on getting a PC engine?
Eventually, when my money comes back, I've just blown all of it on.
Yeah, what did you buy? Tell him what you bought.
I bought the first 4 .hack games.
Nice.
So my money is spent.
A little jealous. A little jealous.
My second question is, do you plan on doing another collaboration video with Jim Cabo?
Yeah, actually, I got one in the works. I've been thinking about revisiting the world of Dark Souls, so that'll probably be happening here within the next few months.
You made me play, was Dark Souls right? Or something like that on PS4 when I came around. And watched me fail hard.
That was actually before Dark Souls 3 came out. We were playing Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Bloodborne.
That's the first time I ever played one of those. That's really hard.
Those games are awesome.
Yeah. If you're like dying a lot.
Yeah.
No, it's not the game's fault that you're bad at games.
I can take you. I can
You've been told, man.
Get good, Wood.
I can take you off this panel as easy as I put you on there.
Thank God, because I gotta pee.
Come out the video.
Yes, sir.
Surely been a lot of games.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Oh, God, okay.
God damn it. So we didn't get an R rating on our video games until like 5-ish years ago,
No,
maybe like
3
less,
years.
like 3 years ago.
3 years.
And And what they did with games that were like over R-rated was trying to like baby them up to get them to MA, or sometimes they just straight put an MA rating on there and thought, fuck it.
Or they
be fine.
refused them classification, which means that we just never got them.
Which happened more often than not.
Yeah.
And it was really frustrating. And I can't really think of many games from back then that got refused other than like, I know Stick of Truth. This is my favorite one.
That was funny.
That's
That was
my
really
favorite
funny.
one. Do you want to?
I don't know entirely, but I know they replaced the whole scene. There was which scene was it?
It was a scene about
probe, right?
It was the probe scene.
Yeah, yeah, and then they replaced it with like a panda.
Oh no, it was a picture of a koala.
It was
They replaced
the crying koala, right? Yeah.
They replaced the whole scene with a crying koala, and that's what we got.
It just like described the scene.
Yeah.
Instead of actually showing it.
Yeah, in text.
And we didn't get Saints Row 4. And this is like after they finally gave us an R rating on video games to let us like have R-rated video games. They refused Saints Row 4 because of that weapon that you could like shove up people's asses and then blast them into the sky.
Was that the whole thing with like
Really
GTA?
fun.
That they took it off the shelves or something?
I think either GTA 3 or GTA Vice City or one of them that you could sleep with prostitutes. They actually took it off the shelf, like all of the copies off the shelf, and then redone it so you couldn't do that when you couldn't sleep with prostitutes. And then
Ruins
they
the whole
released it.
game.
It's like I know, right?
That's why I bought it.
You know what's funny? I walked in on Billy playing GTA 5, and his character, this is online, his character is just stood there, doing this, and in the car is Eric, 8-bit Eric, just repeatedly having sex with a hooker. And it was like just 10 minutes of him standing on the bonnet of the car, just looking in on the... Those two guys waste so much time.
That sounds pretty accurate.
It sounds... That's literally them in a nutshell, honestly.
I know one of the other worst examples, or worst cases, should I say, of something being refused classification. One of them was Syndicate. That was actually going to get released in the country, and then a couple days before release, they go, nope, sorry, you guys can't have it. They pulled it from shelves, and like people trying to import it from somewhere like New Zealand who did get it, if they got caught, they would get like a $20,000 fine for trying to bring a banned game into the country. Another one of those cases was Manhunt, the second Manhunt actually. That actually did get a classification in Australia, and then I think the day after it was released, again, they were like, no, sorry, this is too violent, pulled it from shelves, and then like we've never had it. Like they've never re-released it or anything.
There was an indie game right before I left, I can't remember what it was called, but they actually made them switch it so all the meds you used, and it was just like antibiotics and shit, they made them change all the names to like vitamins. And like it was organic shit or like vegetables.
Yeah.
Vitamins.
Vitamins. I thought there was a last
I've been in
name.
North America for 2 years now. It's getting thin,
My
buddy.
name's Tom Vitamin.
This is why we don't talk on Skype anymore. This is why.
Yeah, we don't talk on Skype because everybody's on Discord.
What is Discord?
Exactly.
Okay, well, I still use MSN Messenger, so.
Hit me up on Yahoo Chat.
I miss MSN Messenger. We like to sit there typing. Me and my friends were so stubborn when like Skype became the norm that we had to find like proxies and shit to still use MSN Messenger when it closed down, so we could sit there typing to each other. Yeah, it's a boring story. I don't know how to tell that.
That's super exciting, dude.
Does anyone have any better questions to ask? We can maybe answer or something. Yeah.
So, like, when you guys come here and get games that you can't get in Australia,
Yeah.
if they are technically banned, are you, like, breaking the law by bringing them in?
I think now it's okay. Like, if I was to buy like Syndicate, which was released here, and I've seen a bunch of copies over in the hall, like if I bought that and took it back to the country, I honestly don't think they would care now.
The thing is, like, with like security going through the airport, you could have a banned game. They're not going to know. They don't have like a list of video games, and they're like, "Oh, beat them and eat them. You're not bringing this into the country." They don't really care. Although it's funny how I actually didn't know that bringing in Kinder eggs to America is like really illegal, and you get fined like $25,000 for it.
A what?
Kinder egg.
Yeah.
Do you know what a Kinder egg is? Do you know what a Yowie is? You have Yowies in Walmarts here. I don't know why. Like, no one knows they exist. They're essentially a chocolate egg with a little capsule inside.
Is it like Wonder Ball? Like that thing?
Wonderwall?
No, Wonder Ball. It was like a...
That's a song by Oasis.
No, that's not the same thing. Is it like it's just a little chocolate egg with like fucking shit inside of it? Right?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
But people choked on it. Kids died, and so they banned it from the
Shouldn't
country.
put toys inside their food.
Well, it's fun. They come
fun
in
to
like a
choke and
huge
die.
capsule.
It's
If you
fun.
eat that, you know what you're doing because you need to like get to the capsule, take it apart. Anyway, I didn't know it was illegal, and it's like a $25,000 fine. I actually brought 2 into the country this time, and I like went through security, and they were like, "What are these?" And I'm like, "Those are Kinder eggs." And the guy just went. okay. And I got to keep them. So we actually, you and I ate them, and we didn't know at the time. I didn't know at the time that we were enjoying like $25,000 worth of Kinder eggs. So kind of just ruined that moment. But how did I get to Kinder eggs? What was your question?
Smuggling in illegal things.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, well, glad I answered that. Next. Yes, Casey.
Do either of you have any weird, funny, or just horrible experiences on Gumtree?
On Gumtree? So Gumtree is Australia's Craigslist, or affectionately known by
Scumtree.
Scumtree.
Yeah, Scumtree.
It's terrible. I think it's worse than Craigslist, honestly. I had a lot of like pretty sweet Craigslist deals, but everyone on Gumtree or Scumtree is just hell to work with.
They're terrible, yeah.
Do you have any horror stories of Scumtree?
I don't have any horror stories. I just have like an awkward story or like an awkward encounter with a guy that I just never ended up meeting up with. Like, it was for Little Red Hood, which is a HES game, so an Australian exclusive NES game essentially. And I was trying to organize to meet up with this guy, and I go, hey, so like, where's the best place for us to meet up? And he goes, my place. I'm like, okay, would you like to like tell us where that is? Like, tell me where that is? And he goes, yeah, okay, I will. I'm like, guys, like, seriously, an address maybe would be good? And he goes, okay. And just like, the guy would never tell me where to meet up. Like, and I'm like, okay, I'm probably gonna nope right out of this.
The worst thing I done was I organized this huge like GBA lot, and then I got there and the guy had all fakes. Like every single one was a fake, and like he knew too. Like they were very fucking obvious, but that shit happened all the time on Scumtree.
That's actually another thing that I've come across in Australia, like trying to find retro stuff, especially on GBA. Like even stores, like legitimate stores, will have fake cartridges now. A friend of mine who I work with used to work for like a retro game store when it existed in Australia. And his manager there, the store owner, would knowingly buy fake Pokemon cartridges and charge full retail for them and try and like pass them off as the real thing. Every time like a kid would come in and like go, hey, a Pokemon game, I want to buy it, my friend would be like, no, just don't buy it, we don't have them, they're not for sale, whatever. But his manager would keep selling through these fake cartridges. It was the dodgiest thing, like, and he knew that he was doing it. I just don't know how someone could like just do that. It's horrible.
If you guys want to know how to spot a fake, I'm pretty sure, Derek, didn't you do a video on that on your channel about spotting fake Pokemon games?
Indeed I did.
I love when Nintendo's spelled wrong. That's my favorite.
Nintendo?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with the fake ones.
Yeah.
The easiest way to tell for me with GBA games is actually like there's like indents on letters in official ones, and if you just hold it up to the light, you can see if it has the indents or not. That's like the first. If it doesn't have the letters, it's a fake. There's no need to go any further than that.
Also, a lot of the fakes have, and I didn't even mention this in the video I made, but a lot of the fakes have, where it says licensed by Nintendo, licensed is misspelled on so many of these.
Of course it is.
Lick-fenced or something like
Lick-fenced?
that. Yes, lick-fenced by Nintendo.
Have you ever had like the Nintendo cartridges? Have you ever come across those?
Yep.
Yeah, because I've come across those. Another way to tell too, like if you have a look in like GBA games, they should have like Nintendo written on the like, actual
board.
The board, yeah, and that's visible when you actually like turn it up. And so if that's not there, you know, it's probably not real.
So Phantom Menace is a terrible movie. Alli's been putting up with that for the last like 3 weeks. Alli loves Phantom Menace and defends it.
I saw that movie.
I do not.
I saw that movie in the theater and I liked it when I was a wee lad.
Yeah, well, I mean, Darth Maul's pretty badass. And what's pod racing's okay. But like, I was in the train to Connecticut with her, Jordan, and Jay, and I was trying to explain why the movie was like. Everyone was in unanimous decision that the movie was bad. Everyone was like, "Yeah, no, it's bad. Yeah, nothing makes sense." And then I started pointing out why. I was like, "Haha, yeah, like how in the very first scene, like Qui-Gon breathes in poisonous gas and then says the name of that gas because now he knows what it is, and then he's like, oh, let's hold our breath." And then he does that for like 5 minutes. Like he breathes it in and then decides to hold his breath. So he's clearly dead already. And then they start defending it like maybe he just had a little sniff. And they start coming up with like all these reasons as to why the movie. I'm like, I thought we knew it was bad.
This is like a replay of like the 2-hour train trip up to Connecticut.
I was getting so like my face.
This is just what he was saying for like a solid 2 hours.
My face was like getting red. Jay was like, "Look at him, he's so mad. Stupid Australian."
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So RPGs in Australia, are they as overpriced as they are here?
Even more so.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know Legend of Dragoon? How here it's like a $20 game?
Yeah.
It's about $150 in Australia. One of my favorite games, by the way.
And like then they get to the thing, right? And the whole army lands on this side of the planet, right? To get to Coruscant, which is down here. Why would you land here if you had to go all the way around to get to where you wanted to attack? By the time they got there, they had enough warning because fucking Qui-Gon went through the planet like a smart person would. Why would they land? There also was Terra Nigma. We got that in Australia. And you guys didn't get that here.
Yeah, there was that.
And when they go down through, they had breathalyzers. Didn't we just establish they could hold their breath for like forever in poisonous gas? Am I the only one that cares about this?
You're getting so worked up again.
It has like the worst line in movie history too, when those doors open with the gas and they're like, they must be dead by now, destroy what's left of them. Thank you, George
Now
Lucas.
that there's an audience, can we talk about how Totally Rad is totally...
Yes!
Yeah.
That's something, we're going to get to in a second, Amy. But who's played Totally Rad on NES? Do you like that game?
Yes.
It's
totally
fucking
decent.
Great game. It's totally decent. It's a totally good game.
Everybody
People-
shit talks it, and
It's funny, even Jay's like, that game sucked. And I'm like, do you realize that from the second you start playing, you have access to every ability and every transformation? You can kick total ass from the first screen. And he's like, oh no.
he was like, "Oh, I'll try it again." Because the problem is, it's not Mega Man, but everybody thinks it's like, Mega Man.
Yeah,
It doesn't-
they
it doesn't control
expect,
it.
you expect to get power-ups later on in the game. You have them right at the start. You can change into like a fish dude and a guy with wings.
It's a great game.
One-ups right in the beginning.
Yeah! If you haven't played Totally Rad, it's actually a really awesome, cheap game for the NES. That's a collecting tip
It
right
doesn't.
there.
It doesn't control. It's not that it doesn't control well. It doesn't control like Mega Man, and everybody's expecting it to.
Yeah.
But it's a really good game.
This is kind of like a thing.
Yeah,
Like, we always talk about Totally Rad.
We had a race one night on
Yeah.
Skype to see who could beat it first. I won.
Yeah, by like 10 minutes.
That's
And
a lot of minutes.
Well, we both cheated anyway. We're using walkthroughs on how to like...
Yeah, I still beat it before you.
Yeah. We also, Yonoid is another thing that we like.
That's a shitty game.
Yeah, but like we use that a lot in like our lives.
Ew, gross.
Yes.
Talk about the difference in thrifting and bartering. That when you came here, it's different. So you would go with him to thrift shops and you try to barter. You can't do that here. And then Tiffany, when you were with him in Australia, did you go thrifting and he bartered? And was that weird? Like, talk about that.
I'm giving you some solid topics here.
So I kind of have an issue for anyone that's actually seen my show where I'll try and haggle anywhere. Like we went to get ice cream before at that vendor. $6 is a lot for ice cream. I've done that too. I do it everywhere I go if I feel like I can. The only place like I don't do it is like McDonald's, but I'm pretty sure I've tried before.
The dollar menu? How about the 50-cent menu?
Well, it's like if I go up and like I get something and it's like wrong, I'll go back and I'll be like, well, this was wrong, so can I pay like half price for a Big Mac, like something like that? But yeah, no, I do try and haggle in like thrift stores and stuff like that, and it works half the time. Like, what did I do? We actually, like a day ago, 2 days ago in Texas, I was like in a thrift store to get another luggage bag, and you came up to me and you were like, do you have Twin Snakes for GameCube yet? And I was like, no, why? And you're like, they have it in the case for $3.99. And I actually bought Twin Snakes, which is like a $50 game now, for $3.99. It was listed at $3.99. I actually made them go and get the manager to come over. It took like 10 minutes for the manager to come over, and I'm like, there's a bit of dirt on the disc. Can you not like $1 off? I got it for $1.99. So
This is why we're friends. If nothing else.
yeah, I'm terrible. I haggle everywhere. And I know it does embarrass you a lot as well.
I mean, in retail shops, it's kind of horrible because they're like, no.
But like, if we're in like Old Navy, and these sweaters are like half off, and these sweaters are like the same, but they're not half off, they're just like a different color, I'm gonna like try and see if I can get them. Like maybe it was like a mistake in the thing.
Well, I don't really buy anything if we go anywhere because it's just like he has to buy everything because he can get it for half price, which is really, really nice.
Yeah, I managed. Yeah, I go to like fucking Forever 21 and get everything half price. It's fine. Does that answer your question?
Sort of.
It's just that I'm cheap.
Talking about what's like, a lot of people don't barter when they go thrifting here. Like Derek will find a game for $5.99 and he'll go to the counter and
Yeah, Derek
That's
doesn't
because
barter
they're doing
enough.
it wrong.
Derek doesn't barter when it comes to like. You probably didn't barter with the dot hack games.
Oh, I will barter here. I did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Or haggle. Yeah, I did haggle down
Mhm.
the hack games down to 200 for the one,
Mhm.
which is not hugely great, but it's still pretty good.
Mhm.
And at PRGE, it's definitely like open for that, especially tomorrow when everybody doesn't want to take
Yeah.
their stuff home with with them.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, like somehow the last day of a con, you can haggle like crazy, especially if it's like the last hour, because people will just want stuff gone. So definitely stick around for the last hour and try and get a bunch of stuff cheap. I've literally had vendors tell me, like, if you come back tomorrow and I still have it, I'll give it to you half price. I'm like, okay. So
they'd rather sell it and get money than haul it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's obvious, but just in case you didn't know, definitely do that.
Yeah, don't pay full price for anything. Don't.
I
Or
never
at
buy
least
any-
like don't settle for full price.
I like
first.
never buy anything on the first
Yeah,
day.
because well, even if it is that, because I will buy stuff the first day, but I'll haggle.
Yeah.
But if I know something's a good price, like you can give me a little Samsung, $9. I'm still gonna go. I'll give you $5.
Yeah, like every
label
time.
damage. But you know what? Like if they're like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm like, all right, I'll pay the.
It's still
but I'm gonna
$9.
try first.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
don't settle for the. Even if you know it's a good price. No.
You can always like save $3 for something else.
Also, pawn shops.
Yeah.
Pawn shops are really good.
Yeah.
Anymore, I used to go thrift shopping and I would sometimes find stuff. Not anymore. It's all pawn shops now.
Pawn
They're
shops
the
aren't
ones
bad.
who are they're the ones motivated to move anything.
That one near your house is insane.
Yes.
Because, well, I mean, I've like built a rapport with the guy now because we built so much. Has anyone watched that pickups video I done, the Woods Goods, where I bought the PS3 games? Like the stupid amount of PS3 games? That was the pawn store near your house.
Yeah.
Pawn brokers, pawn shop, I don't know. What the fuck, the Triple X store. Yeah, actually, there was a Triple X store next to it, and we were walking out of the pawn brokers, and like we saw Amy walking towards us, and we pretended to casually walk in the Triple X store to piss her off.
Went from the pawnbroker to the porn broker.
Yeah, we did. Anyway, yeah, and they pulled out like all this stuff, and then we just haggled, and we got it for like stupidly cheap because they have like 700 PS3 games. Just want to get rid of it. You can't haggle it.
Would you haggle at the porn store?
Home with like 30.
At the on like a DVD or something,
Or like a dildo?
like Girls Gone Wild
Can
17.
I get this big black dildo for
I'd be like,
half price?
I'll be like, no, I'm not gonna shut up.
I don't know what you do.
I don't know if anyone's like after us. I think we're coming up on like the end of our 45 minutes. But we have time for like some speed questions. If I don't get told to stop, I can just keep going. Yeah.
Good pickups today, here.
Today, I got, finally, because I'm a stinge and don't like buying the same game twice, Metroid for the NES, the yellow cart variant, the really badass looking one. If anyone knows what that looks like, it's
I need that.
freaking sweet. Yeah, I managed to get that for 15
Minty. Yeah.
Minty as hell, yeah. Oh, wait, I can let everyone else answer that question too. It's not just me up here.
It's just you up here. I picked up Contra 4 on DS, which usually is like a $30, $40 game for like $15. So that was pretty good. I've been looking for that for a while.
Derek?
Picked up .hack, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Not
Oh,
the
really?
GU games, but I got all 4 of the original.
Oh.
And spent $200 on that.
Wow.
And, that's it. I spent all my money.
Yeah, well, no, I wouldn't spend any more after that.
Tiffany?
I got 2 Pokemon figures, and one's a Weedle and one's a Shelder.
I got the Super Famicom, not the the repro. I got the Super Famicom port of Dragon Quest 1 and 2, and I got Parodius and Darkwing Duck on Game Boy, $10. That was nice. And I also got Fantasy Zone on TurboGrafx.
Nice.
The Fantasy
And
Zone.
the crowning jewel of my pickups was I got Koopa action figure from the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
hideous.
I want to see that.
Yeah, I have a Goomba one
Who
too.
likes that movie?
No one.
I like that
You're
movie.
lying.
I like that movie.
Like 7 people like
I
that
think the
movie.
premise of that movie is badass considering it's a Mario Brothers movie.
I tried to watch it again. Like I was like, I liked it as a kid, and I tried watching it again, like one holiday at my grandma's house, and I was like, I fell asleep. It was boring.
Luigi Mario and Mario Mario.
Oh my god,
I like that.
And they're like 30 years apart from each other.
I like that movie a lot. It's funny.
I got the DVD. I had it for a few years.
I got the VHS. Old school. Anyone else? Any other questions? Yeah.
So, what are your YouTube channels so I can subscribe to you guys?
Well, I'm Woodhawker from this. Actually, I wanted to do this before I ended, so thank you. I'm Woodhawker from the channel Beat 'em Ups.
I am Alli Flanagan. It is literally just my name. It's my channel.
I am Super Derek. I have a channel called Super Derek.
I am Gilly, and my channel is Gilly the Kid, but it is one word, and if you put spaces, I'm a rapper, and I'm not a rapper. So
Yeah, no, I do that all the time. All the time.
I need to get bigger than him, so it doesn't.
Yeah, a little bit. I preferred Retro City Zone though.
We're not ever talking about that again.
If you type in Retro City Zone, he'll come on as well.
Die.
And Tiffany, what's your channel?
I don't have a channel.
Oh, well, she's on my channel, so.
He's affiliated with Rockefeller. I ain't gonna have him,
No one
Okay.
listens to him.
It's time. Let's do one more question really quick. Yeah.
In an older video, you mentioned that you hated the Zelda DS games more than the CD games. Why is that?
Oh, Founded Hourglass and Spirit Tracks are shit. They're not only the worst Zelda games ever made, but they're like the worst games on the
You
DS.
hate them more than Wonder
Yeah,
one?
yeah, yeah. Fuck yeah.
It's offensive because they could have been good if they just dropped.
It's not even the controls, it's the repetitiveness and the boringness. It's just bad. It's just
I would
a bad
rather
game.
play Link's Awakening 3 times.
I didn't want to end on that negative note, but I appreciate all of you guys very much for coming along to this very spastic panel, and I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you, I really do appreciate it. So, thank you. And a big hand for all of my friends and family and guests that came along. Thank you guys.